right, here we go.
Ibrahim Traore, Ibrahim Traore, Ibrahim Traore, Ibrahim Traore, Captain, Traore, Captain, Traore, Captain, Traore, Traore. One African giant, African giant, never compliant, we self-reliant, always defiant. The West can be silent, warrior king, they feeling the sting, men of the people, not a part of the sheeple, legend of Africa, see Thomas Sankara, Captain, Traore, Captain, Traore, Captain, Traore, Traore. La partie de Thomas Sankara, il vaut tous les cara, kick la force comme du karaté, les hommes dans les carrés, la patrie de Thomas Sankara, il vaut tous les cara, on a trop galéré, y'a le truc qu'on va gérer, c'est le moment d'action, prenons la position.
I say, man, I don't know the dude that did that record, but boy, that if I tell you he #1 on streams in like 30 countries in literally like a week, and it's fire. That's a fire song, bro. When I first heard it, I was like, wow. And I had already said to myself, I would want to do a song just kind of speaking on that. He beat me to it. I ain't even trying to do it no more because that sucker.
It's hard to come behind that.
Boy, that's hard to come behind that, boy. And I know I got bars, but I mean, it's just the beat, the words. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty deep.
Cadence.
So the cadence. You know, you can't deny that Western influence, boy. Black culture, powerful. You know, both ways. You know what I'm saying?
Both ways,
definitely. But basically, that was the video for the topic. So, man, we talked about them last week, but I definitely want to go into it. What's your thoughts on what's happened since last week, since we talked about it? I know April 30th. It's going to be protests and marches all around the world. But this is going to be considered to be the biggest protest or gathering amongst melanin people across the planet in history, as anyone can know of in modern history. So even though me and some of my constituents, we don't protest no more, but that's simply because we've elevated ourselves to other levels of fighting, you know, whatever battles that deals with, you know, empowering our people. I still don't knock it, and I still think it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? And so I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on this being something that's totally big. They even having protests all across America too. I was in Atlanta. They already gathered in protests. They gathered in protests in Houston and other big cities and stuff like that. So again, I was talking to a guy on a plane today. He's from UK, and he says the same things. He said, "Oh, UK, they already preparing and stuff like that." So if you've been keeping up the news, it's definitely worldwide. So my thoughts is, even though it takes more than protests to get things done, what's y'all thoughts on this particular protest? What you think about it, and then just elaborate on your thoughts on this whole Ibrahim Treeham situation about Burkina Faso and the West jumping into African affairs. What's your thoughts? Anybody can go first.
I feel like a protest on this level for what they're doing, I think it has its positive notes. And what I'm saying by that is it's bringing attention to the whole Ibrahim Traore thing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of Americans, before the general came out and spoke what he spoke, a lot of Americans didn't know who Traore was.
Mm-hmm.
So with the protests, I think that's bringing more light, making more people go and look up who the brother is. You know what I'm saying? And for anybody out there who haven't looked the brother up, man, please go look the brother up, man, because Ibrahim Traore is the real thing. He is the real thing, and I feel like liberation in Africa is liberation for us all.
Man, that was some bars there, man. I noticed the same thing too. That I realized a lot of people didn't know who he was until that coon ass general spoke. Um, that was mind boggling to me, though. You know what I mean? Like, it just goes to show you that even African Americans or melanin Native Americans, we live in a bubble in America. We really do.
We really do. We really do.
You know, we really do, and that's definitely not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? We should be aware. We got to be aware. It's a lot of reasons that you could add to that. It could be, of course, parenting and stuff like that. We definitely have to become our kids' social media.
I
We
want to
cannot
say,
depend on our kid. We cannot depend on our kids to be informed by TV. We have to become their social media dog. Because if not, they just gonna be led astray again, like we would. So yeah.
I want to
Uh,
say a big shout out to y'all and thank y'all because I was one of those people that was in the blind. I didn't know that dude. I didn't know that dude till y'all start talking about him.
appreciate it.
I started reaching. Once y'all told me what he was about, I started going to look at him, look for him, hear stuff. I started watching the videos and started paying attention to him. And man, we got a modern day Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. This is modern day right now, and I'm so moved by everything he's doing right now. He got my full support. So
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Trey, what's your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, so when you look at what's been going on in Africa, like forever, they've been pretty much ravishing the resources since the beginning of time, and there's been no checks and balances. No one cares. You don't hear America screaming about civil rights like they do for other countries. So one thing that I've learned is that we have to galvanize, we have to organize, we have to really be the catalyst for a lot of these things to start, because nobody really give a damn about us, to be honest. We know that. It ain't no secret. So it's important, just like brother said a second ago, it's a good thing that you covering it. I wasn't even abreast of what was going on all the way with that, because we do be in the bubble. And part of and I'd say this: the reason why we're in a bubble, some of it is I'd say voluntary, right? Because we have access to information. It's not like North Korea where you literally your IPs just can't do certain things, or communist China, you cannot post certain things. We can communicate, we can organize. We use our organization for stupid shit like, oh, okay, we about to do a flash mob, or we about to go ahead and
Do a
get this
challenge.
right, a challenge, or a street racing takeover or something. You know what I'm saying? But there's so many other things that we could be using this social media for. I do realize that there's a little bit of help, right, from powers that be, because the algorithm, if you just fall into that, then yeah, you're gonna stay in the bubble, because none of these. If you look at the root of these companies, like Google is owned by Alphabet, right? Alphabet's the parent company. All it is an advertising company. Meta, advertising company, right? When you understand what these things are, then you're like, what's their main objective? To keep your face on a screen as much as possible and get paid by as many advertisers as possible. So for you to be in that state where some of us just have to check on our phones and see how much time we're spending on apps. It's easy to do now. A lot of them actually show you that. And when you look and then you start seeing 6 hours, 10 hours, and all of that, and you be like, damn, I didn't learn nothing today. But I was on social media all day. What are we doing with our lives, right? If you think about taking that same amount of time into learning a craft, learning a skill, pouring into your community, then it's like, well, damn, what could you have done with that day aside from social media? So I think it's important for us to break the cycle. You gotta have those talks with your children, try to manage what it is that they're doing, and be engaged. See what it is that they're thinking, see what it is that they're doing, because we can't lie, man. Generation X dropped the ball. We know that. Baby boomers were the first selfish bunch, but we know what's up. Um, we didn't make a conscious effort to be parents, and it ain't just us. It's like just the entire Western Hemisphere, man. That's we just don't care anymore. That's how we behave. That's what was okay. They have us focus on consumerism, right? If we're only 5% of the population and consuming what 35% of all consumption, that's kind of crazy. Other countries are saving money.
$1.2 trillion a year.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And what are we doing with it? We're not investing it. Most of us aren't investing it. We buying the new hotness, right? We want the
Yeah,
biggest cars. We want to buy, you know, Chinese made Louis Vuitton, right? Like what we doing?
their
So,
creation, their creation.
right, recreation. We need to
Making
go out.
Cadillac,
And
We
making
overpaying
Cadillac the
for it
number
too.
one dealership.
right. We need to sit down and do $300 meals, right? Like if we
Man.
start to take the time to just say, just look at ourselves and have that, be able to self reflect. And
Mhm.
this is something that I've had to do because anything that I just mentioned, I was either completely guilty of or still guilty
Hmm.
of, to keep it G. Right? I'm still a work in progress, but at this point, I'm making a conscious effort, right, and trying to pour more into the generation and explain things to them with context. I think that's one of the main things we can do. The only way to stop this, we have to worry about our future, right? So we have to pour into our children and give them context. To me, I think that if I would have had that, I could have accomplished a lot more things a lot earlier in life if I understood what the consequences were, what type of repercussions I'd be dealing with, why this works this way, and having that healthy back and forth conversation to where your offspring feels comfortable talking to you. I don't want to keep going on. I want to get the other brothers a chance to talk, but
Nah,
you know,
man. Say
I'm
now
kind
we
of
was
long
tuned
winded
in.
sometimes, man.
Nah, no,
Good
no,
knowledge.
no, no. Let me tell you
Good
something. You
knowledge.
be even when you are long winded, we are tuned in because you're saying something. So
Hmm.
it's worth it. It's like a good movie. Some good movies is 2.5 hours long. Some trash movies only an hour. I'd rather watch the good movie that's 2 hours than the trash movie that's only
I
an
hear you.
hour.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And they've been getting disrespectful with that, man. Like Star Wars and all this.
Yeah,
Like 3 hours, they want you to sit down in that chair. I'm like, I'm about to go to sleep, man.
yeah, but
Them the ones I
I
watch at the
I
house.
love how men like you, amongst others, that speak accountability. You know, what I mean, we bring accountability into play. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell people I'm definitely a work in progress myself, and I say it a lot. I say it all the time. Our parents failed us, and I don't care if they don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the problem is that nobody had nuts to tell them. And
Right.
it's funny you said that because we have another subject in the show that I want to bring about too. That's kind of going to be connected to us being able to talk to our people. You know what I'm saying? Without worrying about the threat of retaliation of some sort on whatever level, whether it's just verbal retaliation or even physical retaliation. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's what's up. That was deep stuff there, Trey. Yogi, any thoughts on that?
Man, basically to piggyback out what Trav said, man. Um, you said this, I think, last week, Rock, about the algorithm. That's why we
Yeah.
don't know a lot of stuff that we supposed to know because we on there watching bullshit all day, you know.
Yeah.
And then when you go into it, whatever you sit up there and watch the most, your algorithm gonna reflect it. So that's why a lot of people don't know about this man and what he doing over there. You know what I'm saying? And then to for us to galvanize like that over here, man, it's gonna take a lot of work, man. Cause I don't know, man. Black people over here, we got that dog eat dog mentality, man. We ain't gonna come together like that for no cause like that, man. So, I mean, shit, just keep on rocking, doing what you're doing, man. It is what it is.
Gotcha. I feel it. All right, man. So we finna switch subjects. We finna go into some.
Pardon me. I just had a little point. If y'all don't mind, I just wanted to ask a question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
How familiar are you with and how do you feel about Gaddafi? Anyway,
I definitely want to speak on that. I'm glad you brought it up.
I was so for the face.
Let me say
I
this.
said both of y'all jumped.
Say, look at here, man. You know, I voted. I tell people this. I voted for Barack for two main reasons. I voted for him because I thought he was more qualified. I truly did, right? But I also voted for him because he reflected my skin, my melanin. It was both. But sadly, he showed me who he was during his 8 years in office. And out of all the things that he did, out of all the things that he didn't do, I would have been, I still would have been okay with him and had some level of respect for him because, people make mistakes. People have their own agendas. People have their different support systems. People have their different people to answer to. But when he killed Gaddafi, I lost all respect I could have had for him. I was a fan of Gaddafi. I studied Gaddafi for years and years and years. Like you say, even when niggas didn't even know this man existed. I studied it. I followed him. I'm a fan of him. The Muslim brothers used to talk about him a lot. The Hebrew Israelites used to talk about him a lot. Black Jews everybody knew about this man except African Americans. And in general, as a whole. And I knew all what he did, and I watched the media tear him down. I seen when he was bringing Africa together and coming together and bagging his country by gold. And it was one of the countries that had no central banks involved, which the West has slowly took down one by one over the last 30, 40 years, and playing in our face. And when he ordered that hit on that man, and then they took him out the way they did, and then the country ended up the way it is now. 30% of the country end up being sex trafficked and enslaved, or just homeless. And so I knew then, man. I knew then when it just withered away. I kind of backed down on the efforts that I thought that I could put in that will make a change at that point, because I realized at that point in my life, I realized something different that I didn't think about at first. Africa got to fix Africa first. We can't fix Africa. We can't save Africa now. We can't. It's impossible. For one, we don't have our own land. We can't bear arms on our own land. We can't bear arms and fight the enemy on land that's not ours per se. It's been taken and reclaimed. And so that's a battle that we could never win, you know what I'm saying, on no front, you know what I mean? And so the Traore situation has fueled us now. And now I feel better putting in any efforts to help Africa, because again, like Trust say, Africa's liberation is liberation for melanated people all around the world. It's a ball effect. It's gonna happen. If they rise up, we rise up. UK is already majority blacks now. You know what I mean? America's already minority whites. They're now second to Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? And South America's always been majority black. You know what I'm saying? So it don't take nothing but the flip of a switch in the people down there to get their country back. You know, I mean, that's just how easy it is. You know what I'm saying? But that's my thoughts on Gaddafi. He definitely was a hero, and they definitely and not in, and shout out to and rest in peace, rest in power to Santana too. So he was actually the guy who did the coup before in Burkina Faso before Ibrahim did. And he got brutally murdered too by the French,
Yeah.
aided and assisted by America, the West as well. So shout out to him too, man. I studied him, and I have a lot of respect for him too.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
that's why I brought him up, because I kind of fear that, you know, he's starting to pick up steam and he
Yep.
becomes a threat. And I think now he is going to be threatened. Unfortunately, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's just what they do. You start to
yeah,
make the right moves, they want to get you up out of here. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. Now the difference is
I'm
that I
hoping
can
better
say
for
what
him.
makes it. Yeah, what I say makes it different with him is that you got social media now, and not only that, he has backing from powerful countries that America don't want to fuck with. Uh, Putin just sent over 50,000 soldiers to Burkina Faso
yeah.
to protect him. Uh, so which means that if the West and France come in and they war with him, they're warring with Russia. And that's a whole different fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Also, China has offered assistance as well. Niger, Mali, and even Ghana has offered assistance as well. So it's a difference now, because now you got more African countries coming together, and they're willing to protect each other with manpower as well as just, you know, economic power or vocal assistance. You know what I mean? And so it's a different monster now. They definitely can't just go in bullying them now, because now they fight more than one opposition. So I'm not saying it's going to stop them, but they very well better be prepared for the repercussions, because this is a difference. It's a difference when you're talking about a whole continent of people coming together. And it's one thing about Africans that we've never done it, and respectfully, uh they when they revolve, when they do revolution, oh, they do it with violence. They're not scared. They're willing to die. Machetes, rocks, whatever. They don't care about your weapons, because they know they outnumber you, and they know you only got so many bullets. So it's a difference. I mean, in Lagos, there's 25 million people live in Lagos. If they really wanted to overthrow the government,
Damn.
they could just do it. Just come together and do it. It's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And I tell
it's
you
4
this
million
too:
people.
the Western playbook is played out. They still running the same old 52 fake out that they've been doing for the past 100 years. And now it's easy to see right through it. Like Ibrahim Traore was telling us almost a year ago what they was gonna do, and then they come right back and do exactly what this brother said they was gonna do. You see, they gotta tear you down, tear the image of you down before they can make their move and just go in and do what they want to do. Cause see, if everybody looking at you like this savior, or this hero, and they come in and they make their move, now you got a billion upset Africans. See, because you got to keep that in mind, like you say, African is the most populated continent in the world. See, they always talk about Asia, or how many of these Asians it is. It's 1.6 billion Africans, young Africans. Asians are old. You see what I'm saying? So they try to send out this propaganda and tear this brother down, like the same thing they did with Gaddafi. The same thing they did with Gaddafi.
Yeah.
Made him out to be an animal when this brother gave free health care, free education, a debt-free country. I mean, didn't owe a soul. These are things America can't say they doing. No Western country can say they debt free, free healthcare, and free education all at one Y. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But see, they put that target on his back, and see that's why I look at the UN, man. The UN ain't no such thing as United Nations, and I feel like personally, the whole Africa need to bag out the United Nations because Gaddafi put it on the spot when he made the speech in front of the United Nations that they don't
Mhm.
even count African countries' vote equal
Show don't
to the European votes in the United Nations.
at all.
That's ridiculous. That ain't it's nothing united about that. You see what I'm saying? So it's time for Africa to pull out that whole situation. And
Yeah. They
that's what
even.
Ibrahim. You say what, brother?
Oh no, go ahead.
And that's what Ibrahim Traore is pushing that whole United Nations things, man. That's a scam.
Yeah,
That's a
it's a scam.
scam. And they
Yeah,
get
you
them
know,
people in there and talking about, oh, we together, we united. How we united? But your vote outweigh
no,
my
no,
vote, and we talking about the land that me and my people live on.
that's
Man, that's
crazy.
It's
crazy. That's
crazy.
that's that's just
You know
nonsense.
what's
That's
even
just
crazier? Did you know that around 70, 80 years ago, and again, no one knows how they got all these African countries to sign. The African countries signed a, a bill saying that they agree not to make any weapons or manufactures any weapons or nuclear facilities.
mm,
And that's why they're so unmanned. But of course, that's changing now. You know what I'm saying? Because most countries that produce weapons are non-African countries. You
mm-hmm,
know, and what's sad about, and I take that back, over 100 years ago. So, and I take that back, but it really goes to show you just how much of a loving people we naturally are if we're
naturally.
not infected.
Mm-hmm.
Like they was like, cool, we don't need guns. We like you think about the psychology behind that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, that's an old playbook. You know, we got to change that. You know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show you we naturally are pure-hearted people if we're not infected. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that Africans don't do wrong or nothing like that. It's that's just you know the motherfuckers say you have enough kids, you're gonna have a bad seed. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying in the overall sense, you know what I'm saying? But this is definitely something different, man. To all the viewers out there, y'all need to keep an eye on the news. Because right now, like for example, y'all know France is desperate right now.
I'm
France
trying
is
to tell you.
France is going to be the first to fall. Because remember South Africa kicked them out of their farms and put black people back, Africans black on the farms. So they running out of food. Also with the nuclear energy, you got and the gold, just the gold alone, Burkina Faso, that's where they was mining the majority of their gold, besides Congo, but they didn't kick them out.
Yeah.
You know, so many of these African
Uranium
countries
from
are
Ghana.
kicking them out. Then China, hello, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. And so then on top of that, China is fighting back, you know what I'm saying, and exposing them. So yeah, this is truly the era of the deep state, that's for sure.
They can't stand without Africa.
Yeah.
None, the whole of Europe. That's crazy, bro. I was watching today. They was talking about how they get their uranium from Ghana.
Yeah.
So they get the uranium, and France makes nuclear power right with the uranium and sells the power that they make to other countries.
Yeah.
And they buying the uranium. I want to quote it right. I don't want to misquote it. They buying the uranium for 80 cents, and they selling the power, and they selling it for 80 cents a kilogram, and they selling it for 200 euros a kilogram. Do the math. Do the math.
Straight profit.
Oh yeah.
Majorly.
Straight profit.
Majorly.
Hey man, I want to say something though, man. Last week I had watched the show. I wasn't on with y'all, man, but I seen y'all talking about old boy that y'all talking about now, man. Hey man, y'all send me some stuff on him, man. I'm interested, cause I'm not gonna lie, bro.
It's
I'm
in the
one of them
group chat.
people. It's in the group.
It's
So
in the
that's
group
the
chat,
kind of
yeah.
stuff you was sending in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there. That's kind of how I started
less.
right there. Started
Yeah,
from
say
there
less.
and start picking up more steam from there.
Yeah, say less.
It's gonna
I'ma
be
go
it's
check
gonna be a
that out.
rabbit hole. You go.
It is. It's a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
man.
It's a
Once you
rabbit
go, you're gonna pick up steam, like I say.
Hey man, I
Yeah.
got snacks. I got snacks for the rabbit hole. I ain't tripping.
I say you got snacks, man.
Hey, is my voice clear, y'all?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you
clear, man. I
good,
hear
bro.
everything.
Okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
you good.
All right. Anything else on that topic before we switch up?
Nah, that's it, man. Pray for
Yeah,
Traore.
Yeah.
Already. That's
Keep
what's
doing your
up.
thing, OG.
Yes, sir.
Yes, America, a black melanated American stand with you. Don't let the media fool you.
I like the way I don't even know fully details about it, but just about hearing what he doing, man. That's salute.
Yes.